All right, art students, we are back again with another video on perspective. I decided to do a 2-point perspective since I did a big thorough introduction of the 1-point perspective. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one down to its bare bones. So for you guys out there who have no idea about perspective, I'm going to make this as simple as I can make it so far. Now, there are other videos on perspective that I have on my channel, but whenever I find an easier way to do stuff, I do another video on it. So if I find an easier way after this, I'll do another one, because when I started perspective, I had no idea. Nobody really showed you, or they really never broke it down to it's just as simplest points. So 2-point perspective, unlike 1-point perspective, is just everything goes to or from 1 point. 2-point perspective means everything goes to 2 points. All right, so your horizon line is going to go between the 2 points, or your eye line. These were your eyes. Wherever you go in a room or whatever height your head is, and you're seeing, draw a nose, that's going to be your eye line or your horizon line. Okay, that's just it. That's just it. So simple 2-point perspective. 2-point perspective. Start out with 1, 2, 3 lines. Okay. Simple. Then you want to go, just like you're doing this, your eye line, wherever your eye line is going to be, let's put it in the middle. Still simple. Put your 2 points here. And then whatever, I'm going to do an exterior and we're going to do an interior. Instead, we're just going to break it down to its bare minimum and let you guys be able to work on that. And then later on, you can go deeper, or I might do a deeper video. So this is going to be your exterior. It's going to be outside when you're drawing like buildings from the outside. So you have your 3 lines. So anything on the left side is going to go to your left dot. Anything on the right side is going to go to your right dot. Okay, so lines wise. So what you're going to do is, let's just say this is a building. This is a cube or whatever. Top line is going to go to that, and it's going to be crooked. I should be using a ruler, but I'm trying to do it quick. Bottom line is going to go to that. All right, so that's the right side. Let me get rid of this other paper because I'm going to be doing a lot of turning. And then when I go into the interior, I'm going to start doing some colors. So let's say right side from this point, from bottom, from there to there. So if I'm going to start doing colors right now. So what you have is your building, or your cube, or whatever that is for you. Now, realistically, your lines are supposed to go all the way through, and you can have as many lines as you want going all the way through, and these are going to go across, but that gets really confusing. So as I said, I'm breaking this down to its very basic. So you're going to start out with your 3 lines. So if you have this and say you want to do a building or whatever, let's just say you want to put another building behind it. Okay, 3 lines again. Maybe 1 would be behind it, but I'm not going to do that. Just say 3 lines again. Say 1, my center line, 2, 3. So you're going to have 2 shorter than the center line. Okay, again, whatever is on the right side is going to go right to that point. Let's get it on camera. So this is that point. You're going to draw this line. You're going to draw that line, just for the sake of being right. If I can see my ruler, I will use my ruler just so you guys can see how it's supposed to actually go. Put one end of the ruler on, or put your pencil or pen onto that point. Hold it down. Put your ruler here, and then just move your ruler to where you want to go without trying to knock that point off. And then you can do your line. Same thing. Put your ruler, or put your pencil there, and you can just move that around. It's kind of hard to see, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just do this. This is where I want my bottom. So my bottom is going to go here. Connect my line. Whatever's on this left side, I'm going to go here. It's my bottom, right there. You see how long it takes when you do perspective, because it has to be precise. And I said that several times because that is so true. It has to be precise, or it's going to mess up big time, because every line connects to every other line. So this is going to go there. So I'm going to have to lift this up and then bring this down and then bring this over more. Now, the one thing that And I know I'm talking fast. So there's your second building. I can put another building back here. So if I'm gonna do a city, 1, 2, if I'm going to do a city or something, 1, 2, 3, here we go, here. And then this line is gonna go there. So it's gonna be like this. And you won't see the back of that. So you see, I'm starting to create a city. Let's just do one more just because. And I'll do something down here. Let's do one down here real quick. Okay, so this is your eye line again. So whatever you're seeing, the eye line, where's my little square, my little square. Here it is. Dusty. Okay, this is my square. This is 1 point perspective. Go back to the other video. You'll see just a flat front. Okay, that's 1 point perspective. You know, you can tilt it a little bit, but you'll still see the flat front. It's got to go back. It's going back to 1 point. So this, if I do a square like this, it's going to go back to this 1 point like that. You only see the top and the side, 1 point. Or you can see the side and the side, 1 point. You can see the top depending on the angle you see it. But what I'm getting at here is, if my eye line, if I'm looking at this, my eye line goes right across the middle. This is why I can't see the top or the bottom. If I raise my eye line up, I start seeing the top. Just think about climbing on a ladder. You know, this is whatever. And you climb up that ladder, you start to see the top of whatever, the top of this box. If you go up under it, you'll start to see the bottom. So however your eye line is, you bring it down, you'll see the bottom. You bring it up, you see the top. So if you take this and you turn this where you have 3 lines, 1, 2, 3, that's your 2 point perspective. And these lines right here are going to go and converge. Stop rolling away. These 2 lines here are going to go, get it on camera, and go and converge back to this point here. Same thing with this one. These 2 lines are going to go, get it right on the camera, Brian, converge back to this point here. So now if if my eye line was, my eye line say like it's in the center, if I bring my eye line down, I'm starting to see the bottom of this. But these lines are still going to go back and converge to that point. Same thing as the other. And then these back lines will do the same, but I'll get into that in a second. So if I take this and I tilt this up, my eye line is like moving up again. I'm climbing up that ladder. I'm going to see the top of that. Same thing. These eyes are still going to converge back to here. These lines are going to converge back to here, but you have 2 extra lines back here as well. We'll get into that. So we have my city, and just for kicks, let's just say I'm going to draw a road. So I'm going to follow this. Remember, I said you can have like as many lines coming from this as possible, right up until you get up and straight up and down. You know, going back here is going into a whole new universe. You don't do that. You don't open up that black hole and discover a new universe. You stay this way by not crossing that 4th barrier, or whatever they want to call it. So with all these lines, I can maybe say like make a sidewalk. This is going to be my sidewalk right here. Okay, here's my other sidewalk intersecting with that, and it's all coming from that. Anything on your left comes from your left point. Anything coming on your right comes from your right point. This is my sidewalk. I can make a street right here. Maybe some lines down here. I can do another square right here. What's going to be going this way? Do the 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 lines. This is going to go this way. This is going to go this way. This is going to go back. That's going to go there, and it's going to go there. So this could be a city bus. On my street, I can have street lights, whatever, and then people just walking around. So everything is done in a 2 point perspective. You can have your windows in your building, same thing. Whatever's on this side is going to go this way. Let's just do some fake windows. And I mean fake windows because it's got to go back. Everything has to go back to that line. So again, as I say, if you put a number of lines in it, you space it out evenly. I showed you that in the last video where you take the box, make the X, find a center, then you take another box, another X, you don't have to do the whole cross, you do the center, and that breaks it down to another box, and you break it down to that box, and then you can space each one out to become even spaces. So let's just say I have these my window's going to be right here because I already have these lines here, these connecting lines, or these going toward lines. Just makes it easy. So let's say I put something further down here. Okay, this is on the center, so I'm not going to see the top, nor am I going to see the bottom of this building. So if I go below that building, I'm going to, my center line is going to be right here. So if I'm going to go below that building, I'm going to do my 1, 2, 3 lines. Anything from the right is going to go to the right. Anything from the left is going to go to the left. So if you do this in the beginning, two things happen. You already have your guidelines you can follow, number one, which makes it easier. Number two, you have so many lines in your page, you may lose it. So I'm trying to show you just the beginning, just to use the 3 lines, the 2 dots, and your eye line. So we have this, we have my guideline here going this way, we have my line going this way. Now this one's got to go back to this dot right here, this side. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it right there. And this one's going to go to there. So I have another building which is smaller that the street's got to go here because the bus has to turn. The bus has to turn, it's going to run into that building. So now we have the back walls. Okay, your back opposite wall, your 2 walls, your front and back, your side and side, they have to go to the same line. This side wall right here and the opposite wall, which is going to be back here, has to go to that same point. So let me use red. So we have this wall here, and this wall in the back are going to go to that same line right there. And now this wall will be blue here, and this wall back here, or this line back here, has to go to that same line as well. Now because you are below your eye line, remember if your head is right here, if you're a giant, and where's my line? If you're a giant and you're standing here walking through this little Lilliputian city, you're going to see above this building. So you're going to be seeing the roof of this building because you're above this. You're not that big, so you don't see above that. Okay, so if these started floating, you would see the bottom of it. So again, anything on the right goes to the right. Anything goes on the left goes to the left. So draw your 3 lines first, longer, and then 2 short ones, and then whatever you don't need, you can erase it. So anything goes from here goes there. Anything on this side goes here. Same thing. And same thing there. Now I'm going to see the bottom. So this wall, this line, and the opposite wall, I'm going to do this one first. They go back, and this one, where am I? This one and this one go to the same line. So being a giant, this building is floating away because it's scared of you. You're going to see the bottom of it. Okay, so, but if I wanted to make this one just the longest building in the city, just bring it down. Straight down, erase that. And then I have a tall building, but I guess if I use my ruler, it would be a lot better. Let's just say I wanted to extend this. Maybe I just don't want square buildings, maybe I want to extend this. Then I'll just add on to the building. You know, I got a little money in the construction budget, so I'm going to add on to this building. They're both going to the same line. And this one is going to go back here. So now I just have a new wing to the store or whatever kind of building this is. Or if I wanted to keep going, I can keep going. Or maybe I just wanted to round the building off. I don't want it square, so I'm going to round it off. Or round off one corner. You know, you might not be doing squares. You might be doing whatever. And just round it up. Once you get your squares done, you just start rounding it off, chipping out pieces that you might not want to have. Or you might not be designing a building. You could be designing a spaceship or a car or some kind concept, something, a gun or whatever. So it's just, once you have your square, your rectangles or whatever, then you can start chopping off pieces. I think somebody asked me a long time ago, how do you draw a gun? But you can't say how do you draw a gun because there's so many guns. There's just, so many guns. You just can't say that, Say how do you draw a rabbit? Rabbit's a rabbit. Might be a couple of different species of rabbits. But anyway, that's your 2-point perspective. Just remember, start out 1, 2, 3 lines, okay? You can already see your building. Am I going to see the top of the building? Am I going to see the bottom of the building? If there's a building, okay? If you're going to see the top of it, then you're going to have to, your line is going to have to be higher. If you're going to see the bottom, yeah, your line is going to be lower, or your eye line. So it's just like in the middle. If you're just starting this, 1, 2, 3, middle line, take your points. And sometimes when you're drawing, artists draw, what they do, if they're drawing something big, they take another piece of paper and they can tape it. Let me move this over. They tape it to here. They tape the paper together, and this line, this vanishing point could be way out. You can't see it. I just went off the camera. This vanishing point could be, where is it? Right there. It can be way out here. So this is your eye line way out here for like big drawings. If you don't want something so cramped, then you can go from way out here, and that makes it better. Because if I put a building so close to this eye line, it's going to kind of get distorted. It's not really going to get distorted. It's just the angle is going to be really hard. Well, this side of the angle is going to be really hard. That side is going to go way, let's just say something like that. It's almost going to be flat-ish, where this part is going to be a hard cut. So, and you will have times when you have buildings that are really close to if you're doing a city, that are really close to the vanishing point. Because it's called a vanishing point, because all your lines vanish into that 1 point or 2 points. And this one is going to be like something like that. So the closer you get to this thing, the more of an angle one side of your building is going to be, whereas your other side might not have that much of an angle. And that was just 1-point perspective. If it's flat, it's 1-point perspective. If it's going in, like you're going to make a triangle or the letter A, then you have 2-point perspective. All right, so that's your exterior. I'm trying to think, was there something else I wanted to say about 1 point? Okay, so the add-ons, chop-offs, buildings, your quick city. All right, so let's do exterior, interior. Interior is a little weirder. You're still going to have the same thing. You're still going to do the same thing. Here is your eye line. But the first thing you want to do is think about drawing a bow tie. You know, the bow tie that, you wear when you're a kid, or, you got an expensive suit. It's a bow tie. Mine is this. So what you're going to do is this. You're going to do that. A kind of bow tie, or call it a butterfly if you choose. So we have the same points here and here. Let me get rid of these because it's probably going to get in the way. Then you want to draw your bow tie or your butterfly. Here's my line here. Here's this. And here's that. Okay, because this is going to get really crazy with your lines. Now, the one thing about this and that is you're going to reverse. Anything on your left side is going to your left. Anything on your right side is going to go right. So this in and out are opposite. Just remember that. Inside and outside are opposite. So anything on your left is going to go to your right. So this point is going to go to my right. And then this one is going to go to my left. But you start out with the butterfly, so you don't really have so many lines, because you see already how many lines I'm getting. Now, if I'm going to draw furniture and stuff in this in this interior, then I've got a ton of lines. So it's best that you start out with minimum amount of lines as possible. You'll be erasing like crazy. All right, so which one is right? This one's right, and yeah, that one's right, and that one's right. You see what I'm saying? It's just get confusing because in my last video I said I'm not a math person. So anyway, before I finish that, the line, you have to go to your line, then your wall. So you go to your line, then your wall. You got to go to that line. Stop. All right. I'm going to go back to what I was saying. I'm not a big math person because I cannot see numbers in my head. I can do numbers on paper, but if you say 21 plus 14 plus 8, and my mind is like, what? But I can do it on paper. And that's the same thing when I have too many lines, because I look at this and it's easy to lose what you are doing because you have so many lines going all through everywhere. That's why I'm trying to break it down to where you use as your least amount of lines first, but still you understand the concept. So let's get back to this mess, which is like running all over the place. All right, so let's go back to the bow tie. Okay, we have this. I'm going to use colors so I don't get too mixed up. We have that side. And then hopefully these colors are showing up on camera. And we have this side. Now we have your center, which is this. I think I'll do that center, right? And we're going to go out. We're not going to go down. We're going to go out. So we're looking at this, the bow tie again, this. And we're going to go out again. And this line should have been right at this point at the top of this wall because it's going to be an interior. So let me drop this down because that should have been more up. As I say, once you start getting all these lines, it gets a little crazy. So if this is the end of my wall, because it should have cut right through the top of my wall, I'm going to do this. The bottom one is good. As I say, if you don't get it right, because every line connects to another line and you have to get it right. If you're off by one, another connection will be off, and a third connection will be more off, and a fourth connection will be even more off, and then you'll spend like hours and you're like, my God, I just messed up my picture. So you have that bow tie, right? So this is going to be your two walls. You're not going to see your third wall. And if you're doing an interior, you're not going to see your third wall. You're going to see these two, your ceiling and your floor. Okay? So let's get rid of some of these lines so we can just focus on this. I want to keep my center line. You just got to know your center line is going through here. So if I'm going to do like a door, let's just say I'm going to do a door right here. Remember, opposite goes to opposite. So if I'm going here, I'm going to go over here. So this is going to be my door right here, going to this line. And if I'm going to put a window in here, and remember, I'm below the eye line here. So I'm going to put a window here. I'm going to go to this line, opposite, and then there. My doorway. How would a door open up, or door open up backwards? Or this could be like another room. I'll just put a door right there. You're looking down, so you're not gonna see the top of that door. And then you can have your back wall back here somewhere. So it's just say once the lines are really confusing, you have to kind of see it, the original, what you want, and then you put your points and your other lines in there. Now, you don't have to have a center. Let me get another piece of paper. This is why I pull out all that paper. Do my butterfly. Okay, but I'm not going to put it in the middle. I'm going to I said I wasn't going to put that in the middle, and I put it in the middle of the paper. So I'll do my 1, 2, 3. Okay, same way with the exterior, except this was going to be the tallest. These are going to be shorter. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this, which makes this wall a lot wider if you're doing an interior. So I can put like furniture or whatever. So, okay. All right, hold it right here. I'm adding this little insert in because we are doing the bow tie like this. But if you don't want this wall to come in so much, all you have to do is just do this. Another piece of paper. You draw your side wall at the angle that you want, and then you can not make this wall so wide. Just, it can almost be flat if you wish. Let me use a pencil real quick. Okay, focus camera, thank you. It can either be flat or you can just gradually go out like that, and then you have whatever your panel, it depends on how much floor you want to show. Usually you would cut your panel right here because this is your wall. This is going to like represent your wall and your floor. So you don't want your panel way out here because you have nothing unless you want to put this wall back here. So it's like you coming around the corner and then you're going there, and then it could either be flat because this is flat. This could be either flat, or you could have that going like that. And then maybe you're going around another corner or something. So, I mean, there's different things you can do, but just don't have it too much of a hard angle to throw people off. Yeah, just wanted to throw that in. Just, you don't have to have that hard bow tie shape coming in. It can actually, as I say, it can actually be flat. But if you put it flat, then you're running into doing 1 point perspective. So I just want to throw that in there. Just practice with it and see what you come up with. Because of this is going to go and connect. So somewhere over here, just as I was saying earlier, let's use this. That might work. Somewhere over here is going to be my point because they're going to come together here. So I would add to tape another piece of paper if I wanted to do it right. And then this one is going to go, it should go past this though, but because it is, I just lost what I was going to say. It's still on that line. It's still on that eye line. So let's get rid of some of this extra stuff that is going to make us. Now you can do this all day long and put all these extra lines in, and you can do this all day long and put these extra lines in, but it's a mess unless you are a professional in doing this. And if you're a professional, you're not looking at this. But if this is your first time doing this, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So if this is my room, let's just do this. If this is an interior wall of the room, and I want to put some furniture there, two things you got to know. Where's my eye line? And then I would start drawing stuff in, keeping in mind that whatever I put in here has to fit on that eye line. So this one, I don't want to, since you're a beginner, let's put this right here. Let's take that line and take it all the way out of here. That could be done, but I've never done that before. So let's take this line. So all you're doing is you're shifting your bottom, shifting the bottom right there. So this is going to be that bottom. So I'm going to bring this down more to accommodate that wall. All right, so that makes it a little easier when you're drawing something in this room. So this is my eye line. So whatever's down here, this is my walls. So whatever's below this, I'm going to see the top. So this is going to be my floor, obviously. It's going to be my ceiling. So if I'm drawing something down here, like whatever box, I'm going to go here. Now the box is considered being exterior. You're not seeing inside the box. So you're going to go anything from the right, going to the right. Anything going to the left is going to the left. Now I can turn that box into a couch or a cabinet or whatever. So let's just say, let's just do this just for the sake of doing this. It's gonna go here, I'm gonna go here. This is gonna go here, it's gonna go here. I'm gonna do a shelf. So that's the back of the shelf. Okay, this is my shelf. Lines are going here. So this is going to go over, and this is the bottom. So this is like a box. I just did a box, but you're seeing the inside of the box. So if I'm going to do a shelf, this is going to go there. This, you won't see that. This line is going to go there. And another one, this is going to go there. This is going to cut across the front, and it's going to cut across the front. So that shelf is in perspective. Forgive the awful pen drawing. And since it is a shelf, it's going to connect right there. So again, anything box-wise is going to be considered exterior. So right is anything on the right is going to go right. Anything on the left is going to go left. Right? All right, so now you can extend this as far as you want, because as long as the wall doesn't have to be short. It just depends on the angle. If you could see inside out and say this is one wall, this is one wall, and you can kind of reverse it, which would be hard to do. You can see just a little bit of this wall interior. To say if you can reverse it and see this as an interior, you can see just a little bit of this wall and a lot of that wall. You can have even or vice versa. So instead of just having a little bit of that wall, you can have this wall go all the way out. And that's more doing like the middle, that middle butterfly, where you can put more stuff on that wall, but the more you turn it, so like this, and you can have that other line way out here, because this would have to stretch way out here before it connected, and this one again would connect like right there. So, but it depends. I would say to draw, what did you do, eraser? Draw your wall first, then add your perspective to it to minimize how much room you're going to, how many lines you're going to have to use, but just know opposite and opposite. This one, right goes left and left goes right. And then, of course, you have your floor space, how much ever your floor space is. That depends on what you're drawing. I mean, if I'm drawing a panel, I can just say, okay, this is going to be this panel right here. So I won't have to worry about anything else. I could actually even draw this line all the way up to the end of my panel. Okay, so now that I'm getting so many lines, let's ink it. Here's my panel. Comic book panel. Here's my wall. I can take it right here. It's like whoever it is, you're right there in that room. Almost like there's a window and you're looking in that room. And then I can put my door opposite, or just kind of follow your walls here, your lines on your walls, opposite. Here's a door. Here's another door over here. It'll be like that. Here's another door here. You know, here is some cargo, whatever, you know, right here. Remember, that's right is right and left is left. Here's some more stuff right here. And because I'm not seeing the top of that box, my eyeline is going to be about right there. So as I say, just whenever you stop with this wall, you draw your wall first, you just keep measuring, and then you say, okay, there's my eyeline right there. Same thing here. It's going to stop on that eyeline right there. But these are just easy ways. It's 34 minutes. I'm saying I'm trying to cut down. Yeah, I showed you the top of that. Trying to cut down on the lines, as many lines. Once you get that and you're comfortable with a ruler, just because if you look at perspective channels, yeah, these guys have just been doing this stuff for years and years, so they can just and put it here and put it there, and they miss a lot of stuff by telling you, you know, like find your point. Put your ruler here, roll your ruler up so it stays on that point, and then draw your line, put your pencil back here, put your pencil back here, roll it down, you know, and then, you know, you don't have to draw lines all the way across the page. If you rough something out, and so I'm just like that, I'm rough this out. I'm just gonna do that box. Just rough that out. Then let's just say my point is here. My point is here. Then I can put the thing down and I don't have to draw all these extra lines here. This is just really messed up. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, you get what I'm saying. You just do, you know, your basic lines here. Let's use color. Lines here, keep that on there. You do your lines here. And I would make my lines just a little longer past whatever, like if I'm going to use this, take these lines a little across that and just erase the extra line that you don't need. I know that's kind of a bad example, but I'm just showing you, you don't have to all the way across, all the way, just give you just a little bit, just a little extra line. Say like, this is here, this is here. Just give you just a little bit of extra line. And then say, okay, I got that. I'm gonna draw the other line here, put this there, swing that around. So I've got my other line here. So I'm gonna cross here and I'm gonna cross here. So I don't need this little extra and I don't need that little extra to cut down on having lines all the way across, because realistically, these guys will show you, they'll say, okay, you do this, you have your eye line, you have another line here. And this is the right way to do it, but like I say, it just gets crazy. And here, line here, because it makes it easier whenever you are about to draw something and fill it in. So you have all these lines, right? So now I'll go for my other end of my perspective, and I'm doing the same thing. And that's a lot to erase at the end of the day, especially when you're doing a lot of stuff. So your eyes have to be able to see, you know, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? So yeah, the less amount of lines you have, the better it's going to become from you, because I can see these squares. I can choose a square. Here, I can say, okay, I'm going to use this one, I'm going to use this one, I'm going to use this one, I'm going to use this. I mean, easy, because I have the guidelines. And I'll say, I'll bring this down, I'll bring this down, I'll bring this down. And my guidelines are wherever. If my guidelines were there that far, I'll do that, and I'll do that. And I mean, it's just easy to draw, you know, box after box after box, because your guidelines are there. But you also have so many other lines, and it's fine. If I'm inking, I can see between that. But if I'm penciling everything on top of the pencil, and I'm going to draw some people down here, and I'm drawing some stuff down here, it gets crazy. So you can kind of lighten it up, because some artists will do that. They'll put the thing in, but they'll lighten it up. But you know, you're going to miss a couple lines. You might erase one or two lines or something. But yeah, this is just an easy, quick way of doing 2-point perspective. Like I said, if I find out a better way to do it, I'll refilm it and then I'll put it up again. But the easiest way that I found is 3 lines. If we go on exterior, 1, 2, 3. Find where your center line or your eye line is going to be. It could be anywhere on here. I'm going to stick it in the middle because it's easier. Point, point, up, down, up, down. So you're going to focus that line. Is going to go across that highest point. Exterior, interior. Draw your butterfly or your thing. However you choose to, however your wall is going to be. If you're in the interior, you're going to do a wall. You're going to do 2 walls. Draw your butterfly. So I've already got my interior. So this is going to be my floor. Unless I want to take it, then you just, as I say, you find your eye line when you bring these 2 points together. That's a given. You cannot mess up. There's your eye line. There's your point. There's your eye line. So this has got to go to that eye line too. But in the beginning, try to bring that point off of there. It's easier, you know, but your room, your wall, you might just want this part of a wall scene and the other wall. You just have to, you know, it has to be short. So there you go. Because the interior becomes doing your boxes becomes exteriors. So you're done with the walls. You just have to keep your eye line where it's supposed to be. So you have your, looking for another pin so I can screw it up. So I have my walls. Then I have my floor. on the ceiling. So that's my interior. And then I guess to say anything that's on the floor is going to be exterior. It's going to be the box. Center, 1, 2, 3. Going to here. Anything on the right is going to the right. Anything on the left is going to the left point. And then you just load it up. If you want to draw a couch or however, or whatever you want to draw. How does the couch look, Brian? I don't know right now. This is my couch right here. But of course I drew it and it's not going on perspective. So there you have it. There you have it. I don't want to go too much into it. As I said, I wanted to keep it short, but somehow it didn't get short. So now you know the simplest way to do interior and exterior, your eye line up or down. And yeah, I don't want to go into it anymore because I'll start drawing something else. So if you're liking these videos, please consider giving me a subscribe, because it's not affecting your bank account. It's not affecting your credit score, but it is helping me to say people are liking this stuff and giving me that encouragement to continue to keep going. Yeah, and then a like and a comment, because the YouTube looks at this stuff, and then they rating. My ratings are not because I draw good or not because I put out a lot of video. It's rating by your participation, your comments, your likes, and your subscriptions, because yeah, that's just how YouTube's work. And I need that, because as I say, you showing me you appreciate me putting out this work by saying, hey, that was good, or thumbs up, or a subscription. If you know artists out there that's trying to do the same thing, if you're an artist, I'm sure you know artists, because artists hang out, birds of a feather flock together. And if you know them, tell them, hey, check out his channel, consider subscribing, look at a couple of his things and subscribe. So, and I don't say that in all my videos because I just put stuff out to give you guys free knowledge, because that's just me, because I didn't have this when I was young. I'm rambling. I'm going to end this video. Thank you for all those who continue to come and watch, my faithful students who are always at the front of the classroom and their desk with their pencils ready to go. See, I'm rambling again. I'm ending this out. Thanks for all you guys who do comment and continue to come back. Yeah, be back with the next video in a few days. All right, later.